In the interests of humanity, we've found a better place for you to go. Oh. Yes, sorry I've been away for a little while, but circumstances, time, blah, blah. Of course, now there's something spectacular to talk about. The Reformation and gigs, possibly, of Genesis. Genesis, if you like. However, will we be able to go? Now, I wouldn't go anyway, because to me, Genesis ended when Steve Hackett left, probably. Just a minute. What do I mean, Peter Gabriel? There are many bands I wouldn't go and see now just because of personnel, the studio output's been rubbish, and would they do the old songs, and would they, if they attempted them, the people who, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, that's not the main subject of this. It's the coronavirus, or COVID-19, is it? Or COVID-19, yeah, not COVID. That's been spread by crows, in that case, maybe. But the best name for it, I think, is Cornholio virus. Thanks, Del. So what have we got to worry about? Well, in my opinion, not the virus, not the supposed virus. Does anybody yet know anybody with it? Well, we'll see. But I've got no real worry about catching a cold or a bit of a sore throat. Being a fairly healthy, middle-aged man, apparently I'm not in the great risk category. But the over 70s apparently are, and they are going to be locked up for 3 months, I heard, something like that. Now, it's these kind of ridiculous, let's just call them draconian laws, or implementations of these laws, at least, that are going to piss a lot of people off. There are a great many over 70s in the UK, and to confine them all to their houses, well, I think that will cause great unrest, and I don't think it will do the economy any good, such as it is. But again, time will tell. It's a bit early now to be, well, we can all speculate, but who knows what's going to happen. This was kind of predictable, though, you must admit, with all the, for years, or for many years, actually, there's been a so-called threat that they've called avian flu, bird flu, pig, swine flu, whatever. Rip-off park, pig fucker flu, whatever they call it. They're trying to frighten you, and they're trying to implement these new laws and rules with the consent of the public because of the threat posed by this Cornholio virus. Now, that's exactly what it's all about. The way I see it, 9/11 was simply there. So it's never really one thing that they do these events for, because of course they could go into foreign countries and run amok. They could and fight wars, and the people who make all the munitions and the the uniforms, from bandages, all those people will benefit. And so somebody always benefits from something like this, financially. And there are many reasons, well, there are a few reasons put forward in the alternative minds that why this is going on right now. The black economy could be hit by this, and that affects me. Cash in your arse pocket sort of work, which is for me and many people is the kind of bread and butter. And contactless method of payment has been, I don't know, it's been around for 3 or 4 years maybe. I don't know whether it's that long. But we have to catch up north here. They get things down south sooner maybe. But that's a way I think I've been using it for a couple of years in various places, and that's so you can't give cash because that's dirty money. You've got your dirty grubby fingers all over it. As with the pad where you put your card in and beep 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 beep, you're touching the keypad. So now we can just go scan it, and you scan your card, you paid for the goods, off you go, without contacting. I think that's why they call it contactless. So there's that. That's a possibility. Like I said, there's very rarely just one reason why they use these events to bring in laws or rules or whatever you call them. Now, there is another thought I've heard, which is a good one, I think, that there are too many people waking up, especially in the younger generation, apparently, and in other countries as well, that we don't hear about. And if the knowledge, the truth that we're not living on a spinning ball, began to snowball, and then people would become a little bit cheesed off with. Well, they've become, the people who always held authority as they would like to be seen, the authority figures. That's all undermined. That's gone. And anybody comes to this realization. That's what happens. You can't put your trust in people who tell you bullshit. It's the top and bottom of it. So my advice, anyway, is don't worry about the so-called virus. Even under a microscope, nobody's ever seen a virus. Nobody knows whether really it's passed on by airborne or contact, or nobody knows if it's really there or not. So be skeptical. That's a good way to be certainly about what the media are telling you. That's the default setting for me. And don't worry about catching a cold. Worry about the changes that are going to come very quickly to our society. I went shopping yesterday. It's a good job it's a good job I don't, use a lot of toilet roll, because couldn't get any of that. Many of the shelves were depleted or bare, and I thought, is it because they just haven't stocked up? people have come in and bought lots of things in a rush. They weren't really expecting that. And the supermarkets hadn't bothered to increase the staff to stock the shelves. You get what I'm saying. Now, that's very, very possible, but while I was in the queue to pay for the few things I could find, then I saw two people with, I think it was a daily, one of these right-wing rags, like the Express or the Mail. Right wing, left wing, I don't give a shit, by the way. I'm just stating a fact that I think I saw two people at least with the same paper, and the headlines were "Army to be guarding supermarkets," something like that. And I just thought, bloody hell. So I didn't read any further, why should I? But there you go, that's putting the frighteners on the population. That's their intent. Of course it is. So I've rambled on, and as usual, but really, my advice is don't worry about the cornholio virus. It just doesn't seem real to me. When when the bodies start piling up in the streets, and then we'll think again, maybe. But until it directly affects you, the virus, I mean, not the bullshit that's surrounding it, why should you worry? No, put your attention to what new rules and regulations are going to be rammed into us, because that's the way it looks. Not a very happy vlog, but they can't all be cheery, and I don't really feel that cheery at the moment. But anyway, the really good things that are happening right now, I'll just tell you a few, because it might lighten the mood a bit. And these cheery things really only concern me, unless you are in a similar situation to me, and then you'll be seeing it as well. So, after the long, dark winter, which hasn't been that bad, no, very little snow, just a covering I think we've had here, maybe twice. A bit frosty now and again, but now we sort of, dare I say it, heading towards the better weather, the lighter days, and I've got frogs spawn in both ponds. I've got a heron that visits, trying to eat me frogs. The frogs, not my frogs. The bees, well, I saw them actually flying in December. It must have been a very warm day, but they're out and about today, taking the Chinese willow pollen, which is flowering right now. It's great. Of course, being Chinese, I keep a little bit of a distance from it, because you never know, do you? And things are actually drying up at bloody last. And I've done a bit of gardening and planting and seeds. I love all that. I lose myself in it. And the last thing I want to say is, I hope you get this far, Bill. Bill, are you still gonna come here? What's going on? I know this may change your plans. I hope not. But anyway, just give me a comment or something, and I'll take it from there. I hope to see you soon. And all the rest of you as well. Don't worry. Don't panic. That's the worst thing you can do. Panic. And just be aware of what's happening. That's all. That's all I can say. That's all I can do. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and keep a level head, just like our level plane. Ta-ra.